Hey, my name's Tim Valentine. Today I want to talk a little bit about some of the challenges that myself and my family have faced with raising a, a special needs child. And one of the biggest challenges is how to keep her healthy and fit. And she has, of course, my daughter, she's 20 years old, and she's has Down syndrome and she has pervasive development disorder. So that means that she's exhibits like 4 out of 5 of the autism traits. So she's not fully autistic, but she's got a lot of those characteristics. So there's a lot of things that we have to kind of consider when we set up a health and fitness plan. First off, most Down syndrome or all Down syndrome children, one typical characteristic is they don't have very good muscle tone, and so your workout that you want to pick for them has to be able to kind of improve that muscle tone. The other thing is because the low muscle tone, they also have a low metabolism, so you have to watch their meal plans and what they eat very closely. In the case of my daughter, she will eat twice as much as I eat if you let her do so. And so, as a parent, you need to follow what she's eating. So we control her portions a fair amount. We set out what's in front of her, and we only let her eat what we've kind of set aside for her, and not let her go back for seconds or indulge in other things. But the problem we have is we don't control every single meal because she does go to work, and then sometimes at work they have treats, and she'll eat cupcakes and cakes, and she'll come home and she'll say something about some party that they had, and they had chips and some other things, so we have no idea what she was eating. So that being aside, the other side of it is how do you get her to work out on a regular basis? She doesn't have the motivation that most people do, so we have to find out what motivates her. And so the trick is, what does she like to do? So we look at some of the things that she likes to do. Is she likes to do what mom and dad do, what her little sister does, what her classmates and her coworkers do. She likes to fit in just like anybody else. And so what we found is that I can get her to do yoga if I go with yoga and set her next to me, and her and I will do yoga class together. So that's one thing. We do hiking. We don't do a lot of hiking, but when we do, she's right in there. She's walking up the steep hills, and we do have to kind of I hold her hand, and her and I walk together, and we get through the tough spots because she has some troubles navigating around rocks and things like that. But it's good exercise for her, and we make it go. Outside from hiking, we go on long walks, and she'll walk 2 3 mile long walks with us, and all these things help keep her active and healthy. One of the best things that we've found um, to help her stay fit is riding a bicycle, and we tried a number of different things with her to get her to ride. We bought her a 3-wheel bike, an adult trike, and she can ride it, but because she doesn't really sense her surroundings very well, she would ride right out into traffic. Doesn't know how to use the brakes, and when you're on a trail with other people, she tends to run people down because they're in her way, and so well, that's probably not a good idea. I found what I had to do was tie a rope onto the back of the bike and around myself, and then I would jog behind her, and that was okay for the first year or so because she wasn't riding all that fast. But as she got bigger and stronger, she would ride faster, and pretty soon Dad was dragging her back, and I wasn't able to keep up with the 4 or 5 mile long bike ride. So that was bad. So then we bought a tandem bike, and she rides on the back of that tandem bike, and her and I. We go out every weekend, as many weekends as we can, and we do about 13 miles a day on this bike, up and down hills. And she has a little trouble with the hills. She doesn't pedal as hard as she could, so I shift the bike down a little bit so we can get up there. But she does a fairly good job with it, and it's a great way for her and I to bond together, and we really enjoy it. This is something that makes her day. She really likes doing it, so I like to do it for her as often as possible. I encourage her, to pedal harder and kind of try to keep her interested in it. and it's kind of her favorite thing to do. So we do that as often as possible. So we have found some things that she will do. We don't have to force her to do it. We find that if we do things with her, from a workout perspective, she gets right in there and she'll do it. If you tell her to go off on her own and do something, not as motivated to do that on her own. She likes to have somebody with her and do things. So if you've got a special needs person that you're working with and doing workouts, I'd love it if you'd comment on this video and let me know some of the things that you're doing. You can also go and read my post. The post is kind of brief. I've got a couple other posts that I've written about working out with special needs and handicap from my perspective and what we've done with my daughter. Love to hear your comments. You can comment on the post or on this video and like and share it so other people who have the same challenges can kind of get together and we can talk about some of the things that we're doing to help our own children to stay fit and healthy. Anyway, until the next video, we'll see you on the web. Cheers.